live on YouTube. Hold on. Let me just double check real fast. I don't know why on this stream my YouTube wasn't really it wasn't connected to my OBS, so I had to make sure that it was actually working. So drop some comments in the comment section if y'all can hear me. Wait, where am I hearing that shit from? Hold on, chat. All right, we should be good to go. We Gucci now. We are good to go. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. And then we should be active. My bad, chat. All right, so boom. All right, let's get active, chat. Let's get active. How is everybody doing today? Y'all doing good? Y'all enjoying y'all weekend? All right, so let me go ahead and share this in my Telegram chat real quick too, though. Boom, boom, boom. My bad. I'm a little discombobulated, chat. I didn't know that I was gonna have to redo this all over again. Yeah, I'm talking. I just had you on mute. My bad. Nah, you good. But all right, so I don't know why on here it's a little bit different, but from the last setup I had, I don't know why it's different, but we just gonna make it work how we make it work, right? So we got about 46 people on here, so we missing about 100 people that's usually tuned in, but I'm pretty sure everybody probably forgot that that we moved to the new channel. But for anybody that's here, welcome. All of our live stream, all our Let's Chart Sundays are going to be on this channel going forward. So just make sure y'all smash that like button, smash that subscribe button so that y'all can be notified when we do these calls, because they won't be on my other channel. My other channel will just pretty much be, like vlogs and stuff like that. So I just wanted to separate the two, so that y'all didn't get confused on what to expect on each particular channel, right? So let's go ahead and go over gold, where we were at last week, and then we'll talk about where we headed today. So last week we were here. Was this the date? Sunday. Yep, we were here in this area, and then I said to watch price here because we was pretty much looking for a pullback. So who remembers when we talked about price pulling back that I said it was going to pull back to this orange little level right here, and this will be our area that we look for the overall buy at. So once we got this price to push up, kind of respect this little trend line here, we bounced and we respected this orange level of resistance. We respected it twice. We had one buy here, then we pulled back again, and then we finally got the buy that we were looking for. And then you can see that, remember we talked about the target bias for the week was this negative 27 based off of this fib structure that we had here. Now of course the plan B was that if we broke beneath this structure point here, that we would sell this down, but we never had that break. So it was super important for y'all to look for those buys here, because we had multiple confirmations. This was a beautiful setup, easy buy, but it played out exactly how we talked about last week, right? So now going forward where we are at, so we can see this fib structure played out, green zone, negative 61.8. It hit TP, and then price gave us another pullback, and then it kind of gave like a little false break. So we had this little break here. And then I wanted to go over this with y'all as well, because this is where y'all got to decipher and understand like time frame biases, and not just being like, well, time frame correlation, and not just being solely focused on like the smaller time frames. Like if I just look at this on M15 like this, it looks like, oh, well, we broke structure, we about to, fall to the floor. But if I look at this on H1, that same little area, it's like this area is being respected, because we had this break, well, this false little break beneath this wick, but then we had this huge bullish engulfing, and then the following candles was just like a lot of wick exhaustion, giving us indication that the market was failing to break this previous level of support. So it was important that you understand, like, okay, based off of the other time frames and not just 15-minute alone, this had a chance to continue to push up. Right now, based off of this as well, there was another key factor that let me know that this was going to continue to push up. Now, if I look at this from, again, on a higher time frame, my students, you already kind of know this because we kind of talk about this. Once you get a breaker structure on your higher time frames, then you can adjust your fibs. So we can adjust this fib from this point A to point B. And then my students know, like, okay, we were sitting at a 23.6. So the 23.6 let us know that price is more than likely going to give us a continuation in the trend, right? So being that we had that 23.6 retrace, that was, like I said, an indication that we were going to continue to the overall upside. So if I go back down to my smaller time frames, like I said, 23.6 being maintained, and then we had this kind of like this small time frame breaker structure here. It didn't really give us a retest at this area, but if you caught it in this little area where price is maintaining support, then you could have took advantage. And then on my charts, I had like a trend line here that kind of got like broken and retested. So this little break and this little retest, price still maintaining this level and being at a 23.6, that was the huge sorry, my voice going out. That was the huge factor of letting us know that price was going to continue. All right, so now currently where we are sitting, let's drag this zone right here. I need to go to my higher time frames real quick, and then let's clear some of this off. So based off of our higher time frames, and hold on, y'all saying I'm low in the live stream. Y'all should be able to hear me. I don't know. Hold on real quick. Let me move some stuff out the way. Can y'all hear me clearly on YouTube? Because somebody said my mic is low. Oh, okay. All right, so on our weekly time frame here, we can see that we close with this last bullish engulfing type pattern on the weekly. So this last bullish candle gives us indication that the market still can potentially continue bullish. Why? Because we have bullish price action on the weekly time frame, letting us know that there are buyers momentum inside of current price, right? So that anytime I do my top down analysis, that's something that I'm paying attention to. So I tell y'all this all the time when we start from the higher time frames. We want to be able to see what the bigger picture is and understand, like, okay, what are the monthly, the weekly, the dailies, telling us, so forth and so on. On a daily, this looks clean, super clean uptrend structure. So if I was just to draw this out, we got these higher highs and higher lows being formed. And then we got this whole little push. We got this correction. This is a flag. A flag lets us know that price probably will give us a continuation pattern. Why? Because a flag is a continuation pattern. So what we be looking for? We look for a price to continue on to the upside. So now that we have this flag pattern, I can draw the trend line if I don't have it on here already. So boom. I'm going to draw that trend line as a 4-hour trend line. And then I really need to clean up some of these charts, but I just leave them on here just because this does dedicated one for this call. But overall, let me go back to the daily real quick. Daily still looking good. We still forming those higher low points. Excuse me. And then H4 is flowing pretty well. We looking good with this trend as well. And then we also closed bullish to end the week. And then H1, we broke this previous level of resistance. We maintaining this level of support. So now when I go back to my smaller time frame or with my annotations on, we could see that this trend line is kind of being respected right now. So boom, and let me see how that look on H4 real quick. All right, so boom, we pretty much breaking this H4 trend line. This will be a area where we would like to watch price at, but since we already kind of broke it, we will see if we can get that that retest. Now another thing, this level of resistance, like I was mentioning, we sitting above it, right? So we sitting above this level. So I want to see if we are going to maintain this level of support, or if we'll get something like this where we trickle down into here, test this previous level of resistance that got broke. We haven't got a real retest off of this area, and then give us a continuation to this negative 27. Ideally, I would like to see this pull back to this area, one, because it give us a better entry price. So when we think about our buys, and we think about just Forex 101, buy low, sell high, I want to buy at the lowest price. So I will hope that it comes down here and give me an entry signal so I could catch this buy, because from here, from this low to this negative 27 is 900 pips, but from where we at right now, it's only 500 pips. So ideally, I would like to see it come down there, but we don't know if it's going to come down there. So we kind of got to wait and see. But overall, just like last week, our bias is bullish until we have a reason for the market to tell us not to be bullish, right? So we still forming definitive higher highs and higher lows. Therefore, we should continue to look for buys. You know, it's pretty simple. Nothing too complicated about that. If the market is telling you it's bullish nature, then stick with the bullish bias until it tells you that you are no longer in a bullish trend, right? So you're probably wondering, well, where would the market tell us that we are no longer in a bullish trend? Well, if we look at our structure as such, these are our higher highs and higher low points all throughout this area. So once this previous higher low point gets broken, that lets us know that we are no longer in this overall uptrend structure. So that's something that we want to be mindful of, that if we break beneath this area retest, then we can look to sell it down potentially to this next level of support, which is this little area right here. So that'll be an area that we could potential target. Now for my ghost pattern, let me see if I can find something that's suitable real quick. All right, so something like this where, yeah, something like this. Now the only thing that I can say is that it's Memorial Day tomorrow, so I don't know how the markets are gonna react, and I was kind of even worried about like how prices was gonna react, because Fed Chair Powell spoke today, and I didn't know like if he was gonna make the market open up with a gap. Like, we opened up with a small gap, but it wasn't like a crazy gap. Like, he could, like, you know, when he talk, it could make something shake. So it wasn't too bad, but overall we did have this little minor gap. Now let me look to see. So just like last week, the other broker pairs on here didn't put the gap in there. So I think it's just Oanda low key, because the Oanda been having a lot of gaps lately, but I'm not sure. So overall, this, like I said, this is the bias. So looking for a price to pull back. We gonna see if we respect this trend line. So this green trend line bounce. So we can see the story here. Every time price touches this trend line, it bounce, it bounce, it bounce, it bounced. So if price was to ever make its way back to this green trend line again, what could we expect? We could potentially expect a bounce from this area, right? And then the same thing with this other trend line as well. So let me make this one black. And then this green one, same concept. Story is every time price touches this trend line, it bounced, it bounced, it bounced, it bounced. Now, when we came to this trend line for this fourth time, or this fifth time, we didn't get the bounce, but we did get a break. So once we get a break, once this pulls back into this area, we could expect that potential bounce again. So that's just something that, you like a rule of thumb, just kind of like make trading simple for yourselves. Like what's the story? What's the story that the market is telling me right now? And based off of the story of those two trend lines, the story is every time price came there, it bounced. So we could be potentially looking for a bounce again. Now, I'm going to set an alert here. And then watch price here. My students, y'all know what TI is. That's just what we talk about in the course, but nothing too crazy. I'm going to set alert for watch price there, and then I'll put it a note right here as well. Watch price here for buys, and slash this trend line. We'll watch price at this trend line. So in this little vicinity, that's where I'm pretty much looking. So that's the bias for the week. Do anybody got any questions about any of that? I think this one's pretty smooth. Nothing too crazy. So this is another, like, I guess I can call it like pro tip. When you doing your analysis and stuff for the week, like make it easy on yourself. Like it's kind of like putting stuff on your refrigerator so you don't forget. It's like, okay, what is my bias? Why am I thinking the bias? And what's my reasoning behind it? So like here you can see I'm looking, I put a note, watch price here, trend line support and resistance for buys at this particular area. I also put that this is a 23.6 fib level that's being maintained. So that's something I keep in the back of my mind. And then in my overall target bias for the week is this negative 27, simply based off of the data that we have, based off of the story that the market is telling us. So like when you put it in, like context like that, it eliminates the guessing and it eliminates you from doing stuff that you don't really need to do. It's like, the play, what you're supposed to be looking for. So it's like, all right, I'm pretty much annotating it there so that, and let me make this bigger because y'all said y'all couldn't see it, but you pretty much just putting those notes there so that you know what to do when it get there and you don't gotta guess. So like now it's super clear that I don't gotta do nothing else. I just sit on my hands until price come into this area and give me everything that I just pretty much annotated and talked about. And then it's like, it's just a waiting game. And that's how you eliminate yourself from, like taking, unnecessary trades. So like some people will look at this and be like, oh, well, I'm leaving on this buy here, but then see a bullish candle and be like, oh, let me just buy right now. It's like, no, like your bias is to wait for it to get to this area. So then you wait. Of course, now, if this just consolidating and give me price action off of this area, yeah, we could potentially look to buy, but right now, based off of the data, we just chilling on our hands. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So that's what I pretty much have for gold this week. Well, for the next couple of days, but like I said, Memorial Day is tomorrow, so I don't know if this consolidate first before giving us the move. Now NASDAQ, where were we at last week? On the 18th. Somebody said my screen is extremely blurry. Hold on. Let me just look on the stream real quick. I think that's y'all computer. Cause on my end, I'm looking at it from a different, like I'm looking at the stream from a different browser. Um, it looks like it looks good on my end, and y'all might like when y'all like sometimes it go blurry for like y'all internet. So like if you hit the little settings tab on YouTube, you can choose the quality that you want to watch the video in. And sometimes it'll put you at a low quality so your internet could play it back, faster. But if you just hit that quality thing, so let me show y'all real quick. This is what I'm talking about. So if you hit the settings here, you say quality. You see on mine it says auto 1080p HD, but sometimes it'll put it in like 140 or 240p, and then your quality won't be good. So just be mindful of that. Y'all might have to adjust just y'all settings, or y'all internet might be messed up. But all right, so here, this where we was at last week. We talked about price pulling up to this zone right here. And then we want to watch price to see if we was going to break above this zone to continue to go higher. Or I mentioned that if we broke beneath this level of support, that we could look to sell this off. This was a sell that we called inside the blueprint. We took advantage of this little sell off right here on Friday. Well, we took it on Saturday. I mean, we took it on Thursday, but it didn't play out until Friday morning. But this was a pretty easy trade, and I'm gonna break this down. So let me move a few of these things out the way. But this ghost pattern played out for the most part, so we can get rid of this stuff. And then we can get rid of this and get rid of this. All right, so there were a few reasons why. Well, y'all said, is it the gray background? I don't know. I mean, I can make it white if y'all need me to, but let's try white. Let's see if white looks better. Y'all let me know if y'all like the white chart better, or if y'all like gray better. So let me know, chat. All right, y'all say that's better. All right, cool. So breaking down this sell-off that we had last week, pretty much same concept. Just really, when you understand trading is really like a storytelling, right? So let's go figure out why they sold off like the way it did, right? So here, this was the fib that we had on for the last couple weeks. We hit this negative 61.8 TP here, right? So we hit this negative 61.8. When we hit that negative 61.8, that was an indication that the market was potentially about to reverse. So understanding that the market was potentially about to reverse, we had another few signs that the market wanted to go in that direction, right? So we had divergence here. So as you can see, the market going up, RSI is going down. That was our first indication that the market wanted to potentially push. And then from there, let's look at structure. We just identify our higher highs and our higher low points. Here, what do we have? We had a breaker structure. Boom. So we broke structure, impulse, broke structure, we corrected, and then we got this continuation. So we also had a trend line break and retest as well. So this was just, super clean, great setup. Like I said, we took this inside of the signals chat, inside of the blueprint. Took advantage of this point A to point B with our fib. Boom. And then we smacked negative 61.8 TP. So this fib, this move was, like I said, pretty smooth. Now, currently where we at, we already hit this negative 61.8, so this move is finished, so I really don't need to have this on there anymore. Now looking at this from a higher time frame structure, let's go back to the weekly real quick. Weekly, we closed with this little bearish candle, but it wasn't a strong bearish candle to let us know like, all right, sellers are taking over right now. So it's still kind of, you know, a buyer's market right now. Daily, you can see that we have this hold on, is the 4 hour in a downtrend. Oh, that was 10 minutes ago. Whoops. Which pair are you talking about? This, you talking about gold, or are you talking about or are you talking about NAS? You can just type it in the chat. But all right, so on the daily here, we had this impulse breaker structure, but we haven't really had that pullback to this area just yet. So that's something that we need to be mindful as well. And then on H4, we pretty much same concept. This is kind of just like been consolidating on a 4 hour scale like such. We broke out of that consolidation, but then now we're right back inside of it. So something to be mindful of. And then drawing this fib, if I was to draw a fib on here for my 4 hour structure, let me clear some of this shit off. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Let's do a cleanup real quick. All right, so from this high to, from this low to this high point here, we finally got a 38.2 retrace, so that's good. Now currently on H1, actually, let me go back and look at something real quick. I want to see how this 4 hour candle close in the next hour and 30 minutes. That's going to tell me a lot. Students, y'all know this will variation line here. So I want to see how this candle closes in the next, like I said, hour or 30 minutes, because that's going to give me some information that I may or may not need. So just being mindful of that. And then going to H1, to our H1, I have this little counter trend line. We broke this counter trend line, but we have not broken structure just yet, to the upside at least. So let's draw this out. If we break above this structure point, then that gives us the validity for these buys. If we don't break the structure point, then we can probably still see a sell-off. That's just something that we will have to wait and see. But let me adjust this like such. So we will need to see something like this to continue to go to the upside. But like I said, if we do not break this structure, then we're not really looking for that buy just yet. Watch price here to see if we break this structure. Now, like I said, if we maintain it, then if we don't break it, then we could look for this continue to make a new lower low, and then potentially come back down to this zone that we was talking about, this daily level that got broken. So this really should be red zone. Or let's make this one green. I don't like the red. And then we also got this daily level right here. All right, so we could potentially come down. If we continue to form lower lows and lower high points, we could see the market do something like this, where we continue to push lower until we get into that zone. And that'll be completely fine, because like I said, remember, we haven't had a retest on this daily time frame, and you can kind of see like this was a gap right here that ain't really got filled yet. So that's something I want to be mindful of. Somebody said, do you not see another break and retest being hit right now on the H1 or H4? No, not really. I mean, it's kind of just sitting in this little area, but we don't really have like nothing super clean right now. It's a little bit of indecisive right now. But like I said, if this be maintained, then we could look for this to trickle down some more and do something like that. Down to the weekly time frame, I had on my chart too. Oh, it looked like Nas giving a fourth trend line bounce off for the 4-hour uptrend line. Let's take a look. So we can extend this extend this line right here. So yeah, that is true. I ain't even had that trend line adjusted, but that's a good observing by my student. Pretty much what he said was just like we have another bounce off of this trend line right here. So the story is every time price came here, bounce, 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 and bounce again. So that's letting us know, like, all right, we could continue to potentially push up, but I just want to see the counter trend line get broken. The counter trend structure get broken and retested first before we continue to look for buys. Because we don't know how far this is gonna pull back first. So that's what I'm looking for. I don't really have like a clean ghost pattern right now because this one it can do multiple things. So if we break underneath these lows though and retest, then we definitely going down to this zone. But right now, like I said, I don't have like a ghost pattern. Like gold was clear, it looked smooth. This one, we still in between structures, so we got to be mindful of that. Either way though, this is gonna be, once we get some more data, we'll know how to play NAS. But right now we don't got the data to say just yet. Let me check something real quick on my smaller time frames. All right, let's hit this negative 27. We'll see. I'll let y'all know. I'll update y'all on that, because right now we just ain't got enough data. You wouldn't have entered on that trend line bullish variation on the trend line. No, I don't enter on trend lines. I don't enter unless I got a break and retest. All right, so do anybody else got any questions about NAS before I move on? Question: when you get a breaker structure, do you move it to where it breaks structure? Do you move it to the where it breaks structure or wait for it to get retested? You gotta rephrase your question, bro, cause that didn't make sense. So retype out your question for me, then I can answer it. Hey, chat. I think that I should have been on. I should have applied for Streamers University. I would have been the only trader in there streaming. That would have been dope. I would have been with Kai Snap streaming trades. It would have been lit. Somebody said, do you ever take breaks and retest on the 5-minute? Yeah, sometimes, if that's what's needed. Sometimes you need the 5 minutes. Sometimes you only need M15. Sometimes you only need M30. Sometimes you need the 1 minute. It's just all case by case basis. Okay, my bad. I thought I had a key level, so it did break and retest. Yeah, you had this little level, but like just being at this level alone, like I wouldn't just enter off of this level alone on a higher time frame. On my higher time frames, I need to see like a change in the structure on the minor structure at this key level. So it's kind of a little bit too advanced for this call, but I mean, if you inside the blueprint, I kind of talk about this in the blueprint, just with the transitions and structures on the smaller time frames, to know that this level is being withheld. They said they need to make a traders university, all trading networking. Yeah, that'll be dope. That'll be dope for sure. But all right, so this, like I said, this is what I'm pretty much waiting on. As I'm gonna just put a note that we need a little bit more data. So need a little bit more data to see where price is headed in the right now moment. So what I mean by that is, like, what's the right now money? Like, of course, I could tell you, like, yeah, this probably is about to go up, but overall, overall, it's we just trying to figure out where it's about to go next. But all right, so I'm leaving that note, and then let's go to US 30. And then US 30 played out beautiful last week. So we were here. This is where we at. This is where we drew the ghost pattern. We was looking for price to pull back, tap into this area, and then look for a continuation up to the highs. Basically this level of resistance here, and then that was our stopping point. So as you can see, that played out beautifully. That was pretty smooth. Hopefully y'all took advantage of that move, because that one literally played out exactly how we drew it up. And then let's look at where we at right now. So where we at right now on the weekly time frame, still got some bullish momentum. The only thing is that I kind of want to pay attention to is like this little area right here. It's kind of like a weekly level of support and resistance. So like that's something we kind of got to be mindful of, because we don't know if this is going to reject this area and kind of like push down, or if it's going to break out this area and push up. So that's something to keep in the back of our heads. Daily, we barely took out these highs. I wish we would have took them out a little bit better, but we could barely wick this above. Let me look on the other one. Yes, we barely took out this wick, but overall we still maintained this little level of resistance. And then H4, this US 30 kind of got some weird, like this whole little ensemble right here, this little, it just like basically this whole thing was kind of like weird, because you could see like it really didn't break like the cleanest structures. It just kind of been in between it, and ain't really been like giving you the best price action. But based off of H4, same thing like I was talking about on NAS. I want to see how this candle closes. So I'm going to put a variation right there. And then I'm going to get rid of this fib real quick, just so I can see something. Oops. Alright, so it's a chance that this continue to push up to this little area. But we sitting, like I said, we sitting at this zone right now, and we sitting on this daily trend line. So I'm eager to see how this is going, if it's going to reject at this area or not. But we got this counter trend line here. Same thing, same way as NAS. This was our last little structure point. So let me just draw this right here. So if we break above this structure point, retest, then that's the easiest buy to the upside. We just gotta wait and see if we're gonna get that rejection, or if this kind of trickle back down, kind of like we just talked about on that. But we'll just wait and see. So let's put alert, breaking highs. Look for a retest and then buy. Pretty simple. And then if we continue to break beneath this, take out these lows here, then we will look for price to potentially stop in this little area right here. So that's what I have for US 30. Kind of same concept that NAS have. And then yeah, that's 38.2. It hit TP. So yeah, we'll just see. I would love to see a brand new impulse and then a correction and then get money. Impulse, correction, get money. Just like I teach y'all inside the trading camp. So this one pretty smooth as well. Yeah, I can definitely still see this going bullish though. Unless we get like another strong rejection. But overall, this looks bullish to me. Even might have had a trend line breaking retest. All right. Do anybody got any questions about US 30? Y'all should be cool. Y'all got the plays for the week.
Mike, can you go back to gold? I had a question about the 4 hours still being in a downtrend, and then I also saw divergence on the 1 hour and 3.
You saw 1 hour on the, you saw divergence on the 1 hour and the 30 minute, you said? Yeah, you got a little divergence there, yeah. And then you said the 4 hour structure, so you pretty much looking at this. Yeah, that's a possibility for sure. It's just like I was mentioning with this this right here. If we break beneath this, then we know for a fact that it's a go. But until like this uptrend structure that we in get violated, then you know, we kind of just gotta look for buys to continue. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. But that is good though that you noticed that divergence though, because that means we probably gonna get that deeper pullback that I was looking at. Somebody said, what time frame is your green line on NAS? If it's green, then it's probably 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hour. GU, I don't mark up GU no more. It's just like, I don't know. It's been kind of ugly. My students been trading GU though. They've been milking it, but y'all know when we was marking up GU, every time we got on, I just didn't like it. But I mean, it ain't. I don't know. Forex pairs. Maybe I'm just spoiled, but Forex pairs ain't fun to me no more because they take forever to move. But overall, this looks like GU still got some buying to do, but wait for a pullback before buying it, continue to buy that up. So yeah, that looks smooth. Yeah, that's gonna pull back first. Who I have winning the finals? Honestly, I don't know. GJ, you said. GJ, I really hate GJ. GJ is the worst, in my opinion. Like, look at all this consolidation. Like, it's just ugly. But, I mean, based off of this fib structure, hold on. That hit TP. GJ, I think GJ is a buy. This got this little descended channel. You just gotta wait for the structure to break though. This, I mean, it's still in its consolidation. Once we take out the highs, then we could potentially see the buy. But hold on. Yeah, this should continue to buy up. Do you check S&P when you're marking them Nas? Not really. I mean, like I'll look at it but I treat every pair like it's its own. You said facts that they're easier. I mean, it just depends. Like, easy is subjective because, in my opinion, they move so slow that it makes it harder for me because I don't like the market moving super slow and being in a shitload of consolidation. But for somebody that's like first starting and they don't, really like all of the volatility, then it's like that might be easier for them. So easy is, subjective. It just depends on where you at. But of course, always trade what's best for y'all and not what's like hype. Like a lot of people trade gold because it's hype, but they don't really like gold. Me personally, I love gold. Like I gold is just, I don't know, the behavior of it just fits my personality the best, so I like gold the best. Pairs like GJ, I think are terrible, but that's just my opinion. And then you got people that love GJ, so it's easy for them. Anytime I like trade GJ, it just looks like it's throwing curveballs and all kind of shit. So that's just me. So Euro USD is easy. Thanks. No problem. No problem. But all right. So just to reiterate, let me move this stuff out the way. Just to reiterate, we got what's it called? Memorial Day tomorrow. So I think the market's gonna close a little early because the bank's closed, and then just make sure that y'all be mindful of that when y'all entering trades, because some people just get like, they lose trades because they don't really even know what's going on. Like, let's just say you enter a trade tonight or tomorrow and then it's consolidating. You like, well, it's consolidating, so I'm gonna just close it, and then not even paying attention that it's a bank holiday, and it's like, well, that's why you ain't getting no volume, and now you just close the trade prematurely because you didn't understand that there's no volume in the market because of the bank holiday, and now you just took a loss for no reason. So like, just be mindful of that. Not saying that the market won't move tomorrow, but it's a possibility that it might not. So just be mindful of that. Don't rush no trades unless it's super clear. But y'all got the markups for the week. Y'all understand the assignment. Be on the lookout for a vlog to drop later on this week on my main channel. Of course, on this channel, all of the content that's gonna be on here is like pure educational. These live streams and just, dedicated to help y'all get to the next level. And then my main channel is kind of gonna be like my vlogs where like, I do those account builds where like how I did the 2K to 15K, like vlogs like that. And they not gonna just be vlogs of me just doing random stuff. It's still gonna be like trading oriented. It's just not gonna be like, I just had to separate the two for YouTube purposes. So same time, same place next week. So y'all just make sure y'all smash that like button, hit that like button. Smash the subscribe button, hit that like button, and then I will see you all again next week. Y'all have a great rest of y'all week, and happy Memorial Day to everybody. And this video will be uploaded on this channel. So all of the replays from now on will always be on this channel. So make sure y'all on this, like this actual one instead of the last one. But all right, chat. I'll see y'all in the next call. Y'all have